Here's problem 3522. A layer of ethyl alcohol, index of refraction 1.361, is on top of water, index of refraction 1.333. At what angle relative to the normal of the interface of the two liquids is light totally reflected? So we have a substance. Let's call it ethyl alcohol 1.361. I'm just going to call that N1 for now. And I have N2, which is the water, 1.333. Now in this problem, it didn't really say whether the light was originating in the ethyl alcohol or whether it was originating in the water. It didn't say which direction this light was going. However, we know for light to be totally internally reflected, it would have to go from a higher index to a lower index. So we know that from that fact that the light should be originating in the ethyl alcohol headed towards the water. So we have some kind of angle of incidence, it's called theta 1, for this light. And for it to be totally internally reflected, we have to assume that our angle of refraction going into the water is going to be 90 degrees, so that we actually end up with a totally reflected ray. So we're going to apply Snell's law with an angle of refraction of 90 degrees. We have N1 sine theta 1 equals N2 sine theta 2. And we want to find theta 1. So we have theta 1 is the inverse sine of index 2 over index 1 sine theta 2. So that is going to be inverse sine of index 2, which is 1.333, over index 1, which is the ethyl alcohol, 1.361. And then our theta 2 is going to be 90 degrees. Sine of 90 is 1. So we're going to just have the inverse sine of 1.333 over 1.361. And that is 78.36 degrees. So at an angle of incidence from the ethyl alcohol to the water of 78.36 degrees, we'll have total internal reflection. And by looking at this, we can see why we can't go the other way. Because we can't have a sine inverse of a number that's greater than 1. We won't get an answer for that. The sign is bounded between 1 and a negative 1. So we have to go from the higher index to the lower index so that our sign ends up being a number, sine inverse being a number that is less than 1. And that's the only way we can get an answer. So 78.36 degrees, internal reflection from ethyl alcohol to water.